ये शास्त्रविदस्तु सर्वमिदं मनोविलासितत्वं मिथ्यैव भगवतः खलु भगवत्वमपि तटस्थलक्षणत्वात् अनित्यत्वमेव तद्धाम्नास्त्रिपादविभूतेः का वार्ता इति व्याचक्षते तत्रहं कुत्र विश्वसिमि तद्वाची तेषां वाचीव इत्याह. So, commentator is posing a question as if Narada is asking this question, and Narada is telling to Brahma that you have earlier said that beyond this material world there is Vaikuntha, which is called Tripad Vibhuti, and it is immortal, full of auspiciousness and free from fear, and it is eternal. It never undergoes transformation. Then you have also talked about Ekpad Vibhuti, which is made of Prakriti, consisting of three gunas, the modes of nature, and it is under the control of Maya, who is shy to come in front of the Lord. And you have said that this is anitya or temporary, and although it is temporary, it is not false, it is not illusory, but it is also real. And you have also said that even these material objects, they are also real, and they are meant to be used for sacrifice for the pleasure of the Lord. So you have said like this, but I have also heard other people saying other things. As I said that in India there are a lot of philosophers. So some people say that this material world is Maya, it is false, nothing is real, it is like a dream. You sleep at night, you see, you go to another world, you are dreaming that you are in Australia, in your house. And then when you wake up, you see mosquito biting you. So you realize you are in India. So that dream was not real, it was just an illusion. So this world is also an illusion. Once you will become liberated, then you will realize that this was just an illusion. So whether it is happiness or misery, it has no meaning, it's all an illusion. So don't worry about it. So who is right? Who is wrong? Shankaracharya was once walking with his disciples, and he was talking about this idea how this world is an illusion and nothing is real here. It is like a dream. So when they were walking, and because he was in Kerala, South India, and Kerala is full of, it's famous for elephants, a lot of elephants in Kerala. So one elephant was coming from the front, and one Mahout, the driver, was sitting, and he was shouting that get away, this elephant is mad. Sometimes elephants become angry, mad, they smash whatever comes. So when Shankaracharya heard this, then he immediately ran away. And all the disciples, they ran and jumped onto the tree. The elephant passed, everybody came down, Shankaracharya also came. So the disciples, they became doubtful. They said that Guruji, just 2 minutes ago you were saying that this world is false, everything is false. So this elephant was also false, this was also an illusion. So why you ran away? If this is an illusion, why you have to run away? So Shankaracharya said, my dear disciples, You have not understood my philosophy. My running away was also an illusion. So, what is the problem? So Narada is saying that some people speak that this is all an illusion, and you are saying that this is all real. So who is right and who is wrong? Whom do I have to believe? So obviously whoever is speaking is not going to say, don't believe me. Will anybody say like that? Anybody who is giving a lecture on philosophy, he is never going to say that maybe he is wrong. It's up to you whether you want to believe it or not. No, everybody says what he is saying is right, he is convinced. Therefore, Brahma is no exception for that. But he gives some reasoning for that. So he says, Na bharati me anga mrishap lakshate. Anga means child. He says, my dear child, know it very well that I don't tell lies. And usually those people who tell lies, they always tell like this. This is one of their favorite statements, that I don't tell lies. Anybody who is saying that he does not tell lies, he should become careful. Unless he is Brahma. Because Brahma actually doesn't tell lies. Krishna was also saying this. When Krishna was eating mud and the complaint went to Yashoda, and Yashoda came and Mother Yashoda said, did you eat mud? He denied completely. He says, no way. How can I eat? He says, all the children are saying, he says, sarve mithya vibhashine. He says, they're all liars. So then she said, okay, open your mouth. So then he was a little bit in trouble. Then only he has to manifest his Aishwarya, because he was caught. So he opened his mouth, and then there was whole universe in that. So the idea behind was that eating is considered when you take something from outside and you put it in your mouth. But if something is already inside, then that is not eating. So if the whole universe is already inside, then where is the question of eating it from outside? So Krishna said, look, I am not telling lies. So he says, Na bharati me anga mrishop lakshate. He says, my dear child, my words are never false. Mama yam tubhya mukta vang na mrisha. Whatever I have spoken to you, it is 100% true. Like in the court you go and you say, I will speak truth and only the truth. And besides truth, I will not speak anything else. So Brahma says that his words are completely true. Tatra hetu. And then he gives a reason why. So we also have to convince a person, why are you truthful? Because even Krishna is not very sure. So how is that you are so sure that your words are right? So he says, Nabai Kochin me manso mrishagati. This is a very important point which he says, that my mind, it does not look for false material illusory objects. And ne me hirshikani patanti asatpate. My senses, they don't run after sense pleasures. So those people who are attached for sense pleasures, it is very difficult that they can be truthful. That is the corollary. That is the side conclusion from this. Only a person who has control over his senses can be truthful. Because if you don't have control over your mind and your senses, then you may say now that you are going to wake up tomorrow, or you will come tomorrow, or you will do this. And tomorrow your mind may change. And when your mind changes, then it won't happen. So he says that his mind is fixed on the Lord. And when mind is not fixed, then it cannot know the reality. Because to know the reality, you have to be fixed. Because reality is fixed. Reality does not change. So if you want to know that, it's not that you are running all the time at the speed of light and you can know something which is in one place, fixed, unchanging. So to know that, you have to acquire the quality of that object whom you want to know. If you want to know what is fire, then you have to get a little bit hot. If you want to know what is water, then you have to get a little wet. So if you want to know Lord, then you have to have some of His quality. And one of the qualities, na me manaso mrisha gati. As Krishna, as in the very first verse, Vyasa says, nirasta kuhakam, dhamna svena sada nirasta kuhakam. That Lord, He keeps Maya away by His own power. So Brahma says that my mind does not run after Maya. My mind does not run after Maic objects. Why? Because it is fixed with Lord Hari. So when the mind is fixed on Lord Hari, then one can understand. This is the meaning of yoga when Krishna speaks in Bhagavad Gita. Samatvam yoga uchyate. Siddhyo siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyate. Samatvam, balanced, not running like a pendulum this way, that way. Balance, when you have a balance, it is balanced, means stable. When the weight is more one side, less on the other side, then it goes up, down. So balanced mind is called yoga. And Arjuna said that mind is very chanchala. Chanchalam hi mana Krishna pramati balvadrida. So with that he says that you have to practice. And that practice is matpara. Krishna says that you have to become devoted to me. Then it will become stable. So Brahma is already like this. Therefore he is truthful. Sarvatra hetur atkanthya yuktena manasa maya harir dhrita iti. So the reason for everything is that because by my mind I am holding Lord Hari. If our mind is not fixed on Lord, then it cannot be stable. People are always asking about how to be peaceful. So it can be peaceful if it is fixed on the Lord. So in Sanskrit we have this word chakra. Chakra means disc. And disc is that which revolves. So Lord Krishna is having the chakra in his hand. So if we are not fixed on Krishna, then our mind is always revolving. And now we have various types of discs, CDs, DVDs, and they revolve your mind. So that revolution of mind can be stopped if we fix it on the Lord. That's why Bhagavatam was spoken in Naimisaranya. Means where the mind is fixed, Naimisa, where the chakra falls, becomes stable. So that is Lord Hari's feet. Otherwise, there is no question of peace of mind. Maybe sometimes by some meditation you can make it peaceful for some time, then it will again vibrate. So the only solution is that you have to hold the Lord Hari in the mind. Mansa maya hari dhrita yatra haris tatraiva sarvam satyamiti mad vachieva visvasi. And wherever is Lord Hari, that's where the truth is. Says that because truth is Him. Satyavratam Satyaparam in Bhagavatam 10th canto. Demigods, they were praying, and when Krishna came in the womb of Mother Devaki, and all the demigods headed by Brahma, they came and they prayed. And the very first verse they said was Satyavratam Satyapratam Trisatyam Satyasya Yoni Nihitam Cha Satye Satyasya Satyamrita Satyanetram Satyatmakam Tvam Sharanam Prapanna. They are saying that Krishna is Satyavrata. His vows are true, Satyaparam, he is devoted, Trisatyam, he is Satya in past, present and future, Satyasya Yoni, he is the source of truth, Nihitam Cha Satya, and he is situated in truth. Satyasya Satyam, he is the truth of the truth. And with Satyanetram, his eyes are truthful, means his vision. And Satyatmakam, and he is made of Satya. So if your mind is fixed on him, then that is truth. Wherever he is, that's where truth is. Therefore, Brahma says that you should have faith in my words, not in the words of the other people. Tair anyaihi shastra vidbhirapi harir mansa na dhrito ato manahastasya mrishaeva gatiratas tesham vagapi mrishayam. He says these other people because they are not devoted to Lord Hari. In fact, they say that Krishna's body is also material. Vaikuntha is also material. They don't accept it as transcendental and eternal. So he says because they are not fixing their mind on Lord Hari, therefore they are not with the truth. And they are only following something which is mrisha or false. Therefore their words are also false. Mithyatvadinam tesham matam mangikrita iti bhava. Therefore don't accept their conclusions. Whatever conclusions they are giving, that is wrong. So this is the importance of Bhagavatam, that Bhagavatam is giving knowledge, which is the supreme truth. And other scriptures, they may have truth which is mixed with something else. This is 100% truth, like they say, 24 karat gold, or what is the purest? 24. So this is the 24 karat. Then he says, Soham samamnaya mayastapomaya prajapati nama bhivandita patihi asthaya yogam nipunam samahitas tam nadyagacham yata atma sambhava. So he says that I, who is actually the personification of the Vedas, because he got the Vedic knowledge first, and who is very much devoted to austerities, not to sense pleasure, and who is worshipped even by the Prajapatis, the progenitors, and who is very expert in yoga. It is not that Brahma does not know about yoga. It says asthaya yogam nipunam samahita, who has performed the practice of yoga very expertly with concentrated mind. He says even I was not able to understand the Lord. Atma Sambhava, who is my source. So as we know the history, Brahma, that he was born from the lotus navel, and when he saw there was darkness all around, he went inside the lotus navel, which is actually the externals of this world. The world exists in it. So he was interested in finding out from where this lotus is coming from which he is born, and he traveled in it for thousands of years. He was not able to understand. So he says that even I was not able to know the Lord. What to speak of these other people? So we can know the Lord only when He is revealing Himself. Yameva esha brunute tenaiva lebhya. So whomever Lord wants to reveal Himself, only they can know about Him, and not anybody else. So Brahma says that with his own endeavor, with his own mind, he was not able to understand the Lord. Nadhyagachan. So it is not possible. These are very nice statements Brahma is making, that one can know the truth without the grace of the Lord. No matter how much science develops, how many inventions they do, they cannot even know material nature. What to speak of knowing God? It is not possible. He can be known only by His grace, because He is beyond our sense perception. We do not know. Our senses do not have the ability to know Him. They don't have the capacity. It's not designed like that. But Lord can reveal by He can give us the power. As He has told to Arjuna that you will not be able to see me with these eyes. I will give you divine vision. So he reserves the right to reveal Himself. Therefore, those who are not devoted to the Lord, they can never know. It is the point. Nanu te vayameva sarva veda shastra tatparyam vidvansah parmeswar swarupam janimahe idi abhimanyante tathai vanyanapi yuktya bodhayanti chaiti tatra. So Narada is raising another doubt. When Brahma spoke the previous verse and said, should not doubt my words, then Narada says that these other people, they also say like this, that they know the Lord, they know the Vedas, and they have written commentary on the Vedanta Sutra. Shankaracharya has also written a Bhashya on the Upanishads, on the Vedanta Sutra, and he is giving his impersonal conclusion. So how do you say that they don't know? They also propound their philosophy with logic and scriptural references. So then Brahma says, he says, try to understand who I am. He says, Soham. There is one ashram here in Vrindavan. It is called Soham Ashram. Soham Ashram means that I am that God. This is one meaning. The mantra is Soham, Soham, or Sivoham, 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 Sivoham. So Brahma says Soham. And of course he is not saying that he is God, but he says this is what I am, how he has explained himself. That he was born from the lotus navel and he performed austerities and he saw the Lord and he got this knowledge and all this. And even he says that he does not know the Lord. What to speak of others? He says, such Brahma I am. That is the meaning of Soham. Purva Slokokta Lakshana. That I, Brahma, who is described in the previous verse. What is that? Sotkanta Hridaya Dari Dhrita Hari Rapiyam. That I am holding Lord Hari in my heart with great devotion. samamnayam matah iti. And therefore I am like the personification of the Amnaya, the Vedas. Prathamam Amnaya mameva mukhebhyo nishrita yesham artham anyate adyapi jigyasante eveti bhava. Says, what do they know the meaning of the Vedas? I am the first speaker of the Vedas. I am the one who spoke the Vedas first. So who can know better than me? So therefore this conclusion of Bhagavatam is very important. Antapomaya iti sparsheshu yat shodasham ekavinshti niskinchana nam ritu yad dhanam viduriti bhava adishtam tapah prathamam maya eva taptam iti. He says, I am tapomaya. I am very devoted to austerities. When I was born, then I heard two letters, the 16th letter and the 21st letter of the alphabet. And the 16th letter is Ta and 21st is Pa. So then Brahma saw Ta, Pa, Ta, Pa. Twice he heard. And this is called the wealth of the renunciates. So he says, I performed austerities. And who can do austerities like Brahma? And many people who may have done austerities later on, even Hiranyakasipu was doing, that there was smoke coming out of his head. But not as intense as Brahma did. So he says that these other people, they are still inquiring about the meaning of the Vedas. But I am the speaker of those Vedas. So, swasya jnana vijnane darshite. Therefore Brahma says that he has the knowledge and realization of the Vedas. Bhagavad dattam aishwaryam chaha prajati. And then I have the opulence which Lord has allotted to me. And that is that I am worshipable even to all other Prajapatis, whether it is Daksha or Kashyap or Vasishtha or anybody else. Tatha yogeshwaratvam api mama nasti iti na vaktavyam. And then don't think that I don't know yoga, because yoga is very popular these days. And if you are not a yogi, then it is as good as saying that you don't know anything about spirituality. So Brahma also feared that maybe Narada will say, well, you are only having Lord in your heart and you know the Vedas, but what about yoga? So he says that asthaya yogam nipunam samahita. That I meditated on the Lord sitting in yoga very expertly with full concentration of the mind. Samahita ekagre krit chittopi tam bhagvantam na. And although I had complete control over the mind, yet I was unable to know the Lord. Tatra hetur yata atmano mama sambhava srishtiri. Why is that? Because He is my source, He is my cause. I can know something which I have created, but He is my creator. So I cannot know Him unless He wants to reveal it. Hanta mata srishta anye vidyamanyastam katham jani. So he says, how can these people who are creation of my creation, when I am saying that I don't know that Lord, then how is that those whom I have created and they have further created and they have created further and they are boasting that they can know the Lord, and some of them are claiming that they are God. So he says, this is very amazing. How can they can say like this? See, ye tu bhagavatvam tatastha lakshanam bruvate te tu andha eva iti bhava. He says they are just like blind. So how much knowledge a blind person can have about this universe? Not much. He has to hear it from others, or he can know something by touch. So he says, therefore it is not possible. Right? they know more than me, or they know, and that knowledge is proper if it is not confirmed by my statements. So these two verses basically are speaking how proper knowledge comes and who can have the proper knowledge, and how we have to be careful from people who don't fulfill this condition, because their knowledge will not be proper. I'll stop here.